the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, October 4th. So today the moon is going to be in Gemini all day, which definitely puts a lot of pressure in our mental plane. We're rapidly processing old thoughts, old ideas, old emotions, old perspectives, and kind of whittling out the things that don't make sense, that don't resonate anymore, and filling them with new ideas, new perspectives, new understandings. There's a lot of energy going on here today because Mercury, who rules over the Gemini energy, is leaving his place of power in this Virgo energy and moving into Libra energy. There is a astro forecast out about this whole event. Please take the time to take a listen. And for those of you thinking that October 4th is going to be some sort of D-Day with that EBS, with that internet, let's call it fear-mongering situation, I hope you're in for a little bit of a surprise. Mercury in Libran energy is about justice, communicating information in order for all of us to be on the same page and crack the delusion. So there's a lot of connecting of the dots there that I'm going to leave you with and really just kind of ask you to step out of the fear-based narrative that the collective wants you to be in with some of these topics and themes in order to bring that timeline to life. Again, whatever it is that we focus on, we bring into manifestation. So Mercury in Libran energy going to offer us a beautiful opportunity to clear the air with the right information, to do what is right for all, to really fight for justice, both collectively and independently. So we definitely have some hints and clues on what this particular transit is going to be. We have 11 different aspects here today. 8 of them are going to involve the moon. The moon in this Gemini energy is going to make a little bit of an awkward aspect with Pluto, the great transformer himself, who is retrograde in this Capricorn energy, trying to collapse, deconstruct, destroy the old systems, the old foundations, the old structures. We've been doing this on the collective stage since 2008. Take a hint. This is why the systems of government, banking, healthcare, why all these societal forms and structures are collapsing. This particular interaction, though, individually speaking, is really going to put us in a different situation to kind of see new information come in that we may have had within ourselves this whole time that we're just realizing, having aha moments and epiphanies, are coming to our awareness to flip the script, flip the narrative, if you will, totally break away from the old ways of thinking, the old ways of doing, and really trying to construct a new foundation, new structure on how it is that we're going to operate moving forward. The moon is then going to interact with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money in the heart and soul of the zodiac in this Leo energy, building up the emotional strength to be bold and brave and courageous to do what it is that we need to do in our physical realms, to cut out and cut off the aspects or people that are not helping us to build a little slice of paradise where our reality looks and feels as good as we want it to, matching the visual, if you will, that we've been working on in our inner realm. This particular interaction definitely going to give us a lot to think about, a lot to feel about. This is an attempt to get our heart and our head on the same page with what it is that we need, what it is that we want, what it is that we desire in our physical realm, especially where relationships are concerned. The moon will then interact with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. He is retrograde in this Taurus energy, giving us a little bit of a timeout to step back, really reflect upon what it is that we're working towards, what our goals are, what our dreams are, what our visions are. And of course, many of us may not even know what that is at this point, but many of us know what it is that we're no longer trying to pursue. Again, so much has changed, so much has transpired. We have changed that we may find ourselves no longer resonating with some of the visions and dreams and goals that we've been working towards since the beginning of the year. This particular energy is a glow up in the mental plane. We are optimistic, we are confident, we are conjuring up new visions, new goals, new dreams. We are piecing together new information. We have a lot of puzzle pieces currently on the table, snapping together. And overall, we are just in a positive mind frame to seeing what it is that we can build, what it is that we want to move forward to in the future. Here's where things get interesting. Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves, in the final degrees of this Virgo energy, his powerful placement, if you will, going to make a very awkward interaction with Jupiter. Okay, so let's talk about this. First of all, we want to avoid making any kind of impulsive decisions. Now, again, we're in Libra season. Libra season is highly potent in indecision. Why is that? Well, because we have to debate the pros and cons. We can't be acting on impulse at this stage of the game. We have to have a plan, a strategy. It has to be very well thought out, well calculated before we can engage the physical body and take action on pretty much anything. This is going to put a lot of pressure on our headspace, give us a lot of urgency, if you will. But what it does even more than that is it puts us in a situation where we tend to exaggerate a particular idea, a particular thought, a particular emotion. We're kind of giving something, an issue, a topic, a theme, a little bit more attention than it actually deserves. We're inflating it to a size that is not realistic in nature. And whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing, we're just kind of blowing it up. We're giving it too much energy. We're being a little bit too dramatic around some of the topics and themes that may come up for this particular focus. And we're just having a little bit of a hard time keeping things on a realistic point of view. Again, Jupiter tends to kind of turn the volume all the way up, really magnify situations. And Mercury, of course, in this Virgo energy is focused on the smaller things, very much wanting to stick to the realm of reality. And where our thoughts, our perceptions, our understanding, where our communication styles are concerned, everything is just overinflated. And I think if we're talking about the quote unquote predicted events for this particular day, we have an exact match of how things get over exaggerated, how they get overly dramatic, and how it really skews the perception, the information, the details that the collective may actually align with. So we just don't know where to kind of draw the line, if you will, between what is real and what is made up, what is fluffed up, what is exaggerated for a particular emotional reaction from the collective that, of course, gives a lot more energy to a narrative, to a timeline that none of us really want to be living in. So the moon in Gemini then goes ahead, sextiles Chiron. Chiron's the wounded healer. He's retrograde in Aries energy, really helping us to kind of identify the energy blockages within us, the wounds within us, what needs to kind of be healed, what we have to kind of grow through, if you will, especially we're emerging as this new personality, this new version of self is concerned. Well, the moon interacting with Chiron in this way kind of speaks to a lot of growth, a lot of healing, a lot of improvement. And coming out of the aspects in which we just talked about, this is definitely an opportunity for us to kind of clear the air, to see both sides of the coin, but to very much understand which one is rooted in truth and which one, again, has been exaggerated. This, again, is really helping us to piece together within our own self the narrative in which we want to align with. Here comes another interesting aspect that we have to kind of unpack and discuss. We have Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, who's in his weakest placement in this Libran energy. And again, we're still in the full moon in Aries energy that Mars ruled over. Okay, so stay with me. We have Mars sitting across from, directly opposing the North Node in Aries, which means that he's sitting on top of, teaming up with, connecting with the South Node in Libran energy. So again, little refresher, the nodes of the moon, the North Node is trying to get us on the right path to align with a new mission, new purpose, new goals, new visions, new dreams. The South Node is where it is that we're coming from. It's what's comfortable. It's what's familiar. The whole Aries versus Libran aspect is teaching us a karmic life lesson over the next year where we have to kind of be more independent, where we have to be a little bit more stronger and self-centered, so to speak. Not as in we're not caring about other people, but self-centered as in knowing who it is that we are, having a strong relationship with self, and doing what we have to do to make ourselves happy. The Libran energy is people-pleasing, it's self-sacrificing, we're willing to put our own wants, needs, and desires on the back burner to make other people happy, but that really doesn't jive with trying to be real and raw and authentic. So we are kind of in this particular karmic life lesson right now, but we're still needing, especially going into eclipse season, some karmic events to really sort us out and put us on the path that we need to be on. So, okay, we know what the nodes of the moon are trying to teach us. Mars interacting, again, opposing the North Node in Aries, we are essentially realizing in the South Node of Libra what it is that we're holding on to and being too stubborn about. What it is that we're defending or trying to protect that we know we've outgrown. It is very much realizing what it is that we have to leave behind, but the unwillingness to actually let it go is alive and well. So in this process, we're kind of so tunnel vision on holding on to what it is that we've already done, what it is that we've already created, what it is that we've already brought to life, even though that we've been praying for change, that we're missing the opportunities for growth. We're missing the opportunities to heal. We're missing the opportunities to improve. Now, Mars being about our passions, our desires, our inspiration, our motivation, if you will, this is why he's frustrated and irritated in the weakest placement that he could possibly be in, which is Libran energy, because he's stuck in the intellectual battlefield instead of engaging the physical body to make the moves and take the actions that he's craving to make. So in this particular situation, we're starting to realize that we can't continue praying for change and then not answering the door when opportunity knocks. We can't continue to hold on to the old and expect new things to happen. This is a time when we're supposed to be really kind of letting go of anything that we've outgrown, that we've learned our lesson from, that aren't supporting our long-term goals and visions and dreams at this time. But again, many of us so stubborn, just holding on to dear life, not trusting the process that the universe will actually fill the void in which we will be creating by letting things go with things that are better, more aligned to our higher self. So if you're sitting here right now, you got to kind of give yourself a good reality check and ask yourself, what is it that you're holding on to? What is it that you're trying to justify holding on to? What is it that you're doing to prevent the amount of growth that you're being asked to do right now? What is it that you are too intertwined with, too interconnected with, that you can't see the forest past the trees? This is going to be a changing time, and it's coming at a perfect time in the day because the moon in Gemini goes ahead shortly thereafter and interacts with Pluto, the great transformer. So we have a change in our mood, in our attitude, in our thoughts. We have a change in our emotions. We have just an overwhelming pivot point now that we're having some aha moments and we're really giving a lot of thought to where it is that we're absolutely blocking ourselves. Things get even more interesting because the moon in Gemini goes ahead and interacts with Uranus, the great awakener, who is retrograde in the Taurus energy, in the most positive of ways. Reminder, Uranus retrograde in this Taurus energy is supposed to be highlighting to us where it is that we're holding on to fear, resisting the changes that we know that we need to make. That Taurus energy is our physical realm, the world in which we've created. Uranus wants us to break away from that world in order for a spontaneous change, a new path, new mission, new purpose to actually kind of unfold before us. Lucky for us, this is a positive aspect, which means that there is a huge, profound, intense amount of clarity coming at us. There's a lot of information coming at us. Again, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, about today, right? Mercury in Libra. Listen to the forecast. Download your zodiac forecast for the whole month of October if you haven't already, so you know where this is going to show up in your life. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But we are getting an overabundant amount of information and details that we now have to process. And we're going to be able to do that very quickly because of this Gemini moon. So 8:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is when Mercury moves into Libran energy. We're definitely going to feel the shift. There is no escaping this. We are definitely going to have more thoughts, more intensity in our headspace, more focus on the extremes of our lives in order to find a middle ground, more conversations that are going to lead us to compromise, negotiation, reconciliation, whether it's in your personal realm or on the grander stage of the collective, we are going to be seeing a movement for fairness, for justice, for information, for honest disclosure. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Okay. We then have the moon in Gemini sextiling with the north nodes. Okay, so this is good because it means that whatever shifted within us, whatever information's coming at us, it's helping to dissolve the delusion, dissolve the confusion, and really start planting little seeds of intention, of purpose, of hints, of clues on what it is that we're going to do now moving forward. So sometimes we get stuck on the fence because the choices are equal in value, equal in opportunity. But as we see Mercury continue to move away from his post-retrograde shadow period that he cleared on the 1st, and now that he's in the fairness, the justice realm of Libran energy, we are going to see more information, more truth actually be disclosed. So sometimes when we get truth, it illuminates that one particular choice point is not as favorable, is no longer of equal value. And sometimes we need this type of situation and circumstance to unfold so that we can eliminate some of the options and choices on our plate as of now through not being, as I'm going to say, optimistic as we originally thought that they would be. So it is at this particular point in the day that we're piecing together some really good little puzzle pieces, and we're starting to see what it is that we have to move away from, what it is that's no longer favorable in order to pursue, and we're starting to lean more in a different direction. The last thing that we got going on here today is the moon in Gemini, trining, okay, beautiful energy. We're harmonizing these energies. We're taking a little bit of a gentle nudge in the right direction from the universe with Mars. Again, Mars is about the pursuit of happiness, of passion, of desire. And he's in Libran energy, fighting for social justice, fighting for fairness. Okay, so again, I'm not gonna come out and say it because again, my channel is already kind of red flagged here, but read between the lines. Understand that the fear-mongering distraction events are actually being kind of planted in the collective's hive mind in order to create a situation that does not lead us to truth and justice and disclosure. And so when we understand, when we take these particular situations and circumstances and we understand the positive effect that they could have, suddenly the game, the narrative, the energy changes. The moon trining with Mars is hyping us up. We have new information. We are now being inspired and motivated, and we're hell-bent and determined to take a particular path, to express ourselves in a particular way, to identify a new goal, a new vision, a new dream, especially where kind of fighting for ourselves, our own wants, needs, and desires are concerned, but also fighting for the fairness and the justice of others involved.